is Lowcountry Money Talk. If you're just tuning in, we've got Bloyd, who has come on back to help us out with all of the things that are on our mind when it comes to money.
Yes,
nice to see
income.
You. Income.
Gotta have income.
You've got to have income.
Pay the bills.
Let's pay those bills, and let's talk about how to do it and how to best do it.
Okay.
So in our first segment, Phil unpacked a little bit about the buckets and buckets of income. And one of the things I know folks are wondering about is, especially if you're in retirement, of course, is, have you saved enough to last? Can you maintain your standard of living? Obviously, we know with inflation and things, that's a question people are having.
Sure.
And of course, how to take income. And one of the things we're going to talk about today is Social Security, and a little bit about how this really ties into the whole income picture, when to take it. It's a little counterintuitive for me, but we've talked about this. I want to unpack it a little bit more. So Social Security, how does it tie in?
So let's take a look at that, Jessa. First of all, the parent Social Security. So when I started 30 years ago, a person would retire after working their whole life in a factory. They would be 65 years old. They would draw a few months of Social Security, then they would die. That was the normal thing. Usually it would be the male of the spouse, right? Okay. Changed a lot now. Now people retire earlier, they're taking their Social Security longer, they're living longer than they did in the past. We don't have as many workers. So back there, when the father retired, you had about probably 10 people working and paying into FICA Social Security to support that one person.
Okay.
Now we have less than 3 people for every one retiree.
Wow.
So let's see, you're working, I'm working, the staff's working. So, if we take 3 people, we have 1 retiree to support.
Okay.
Maybe it's less than that now. That's before we couldn't get anybody to work. There's 11 million people out of work.
Yeah.
So maybe it's 2 to 1.
Good point.
Or 1.5 to 1.
Anyway, it's a lot less than it used to be.
So our viewers are really tickled to death that you and I are still working. We can pay into their Social Security.
There we go. Yes, right.
Because
we're here for you.
There's no lockbox. There's no trust. I mean, they're taking money out of our paycheck to pay retirees.
Yes.
So a lot of people say, okay, I need income. I'm over 62. I don't want to take my Social Security until I'm 70. And I'm like, okay, how old are you now? I said over 62, 65. Okay, are you sure you're going to live to 70? Can you write it down?
Oh boy, I don't know if anyone can be sure.
Do you travel Fording Island Road or 278, 170? You don't know.
You just don't
So
know.
that could be a flawed strategy, because if you die before 70, you're not getting your Social Security because you're gone. You only get one shot at that.
You do.
So the other thing would be, I need money. I'm going to take it out of my IRA, and I'm going to wait to draw my Social Security until I'm 70. Wait a minute. So if I take money out of my IRA, how much is that tax? How much of that money is taxable? 100%.
All of it.
All of it. I like that better.
All of it.
Okay, so all of it's
whole
taxable. If I were taking a Social Security check, up to 85% of it could be taxable, but it depends on your income and your provisional income. So maybe none of it's taxable, but still not all of it.
But not all, right.
Okay, so if I'm taking money out of my IRA to supplement my income, and I'm delaying taking money out of my Social Security, if I die, I have a spouse, we both die, how much of our Social Security income do the children get?
None. Zero.
None. All of it, none of it.
Right.
I like it. Okay, so they get none of it. But if I were taking Social Security instead, and I wasn't taking money out of my IRA, and I died, my spouse died, how much will my children get?
They're going to get
all of it. All of it again. So why am I waiting to take my Social Security? Right. Well, because I get more later. Yeah, but you're missing payments.
Right.
It could take you 12 to 14 years to break even.
Right.
So if you're thinking 70, heck, you could be, if you started taking it at 67, add 12 to 14 years to that. That's your break even point.
How
That
much
puts you in
money
your 80s.
You've missed. I
Yes.
never thought about it that way, and I just think it is so smart.
Yeah.
It's funny how that is just not intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so let's talk more about intuition, because this stuff isn't intuitive for a lot of us, and that's why we need an expert. What they're going to do at Revolutionary Financial, what you're going to do, what
Mm-hmm.
the team is going to do, is offer you a revolutionary income analysis. So if this is the kinds of stuff that's on your
Yeah.
mind, these questions, there's no obligation. It's totally complimentary service
Right.
that you do. They ask that you have $500,000 in investable assets to take advantage of the revolutionary income analysis. All you got to do though is call Rachel. So just pick up the phone. She'll make sure you are prepared to do this. I think it's a
Right.
great thing to look at.
I love it. It'll
Yeah.
show you how long your money will last.
Yeah, the big question, okay? We have more big questions we're going to tackle after this. Stick with us.